Welcome back. Welcome back. I've been hearing all kinds of really good stuff about the gems you're picking up in the breakout rooms. Seem we're off to a flying start, and I'm very, very excited. The energy, the buzz, the fact is that we can do this. We can do this. Caribbean people, along with partners globally, that's the combination that always works. So, we'd like to, on behalf of the organizers, thank you, every single one of you, for being here because you're clearly a huge part of the solution. The dialogue, the action after the fact, all of that. And we're back again tomorrow with more substantive discussions, bearing in mind your own inputs as we continue to consolidate in the Caribbean as a response to the current tracking crisis, which can be intercepted to an extent as far as we decide to act. I'd like to thank all of our speakers for all the intervention as well, and of course, our top partners. This, of course, is executed by the University of the West Indies at Mona, and the partnership in terms of financial support from the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB, and as well the Climate Investment Funds. Thanks again to every participant from all of the sectors and from all the countries. Hope it's been fulfilling for you and yours, and we will be back with you in the morning to continue this dialogue as a prelude to action, for mitigation, and for managing our collective destinies. I'm Jerry. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. Now, a project like the PPCR, in piloting and scaling up initiatives in the region, we're looking at the big picture, but at the end of the day, it's real lives that are impacted. And as such, we have a short video presentation to show you, to talk about a few of these lives that the project has impacted, particularly in the area of fisheries and how the sparks will help to scale up the region's ability to generate climate data. I present beneficiary stories.
Fishing is a gamble, and with climate change, the risks are increasing dramatically. In the Caribbean, fish stocks are under increasing pressure from overfishing, pollution, habitat degradation, and now climate change. As traditional fishing grounds no longer yield the quantity and the variety of fish that the market seeks, fish harvesters are going further out to sea on an ever-expanding hunt for fish. But where are the fish going? As the ocean warms with climate change, they are moving deeper, further offshore, and farther north to follow cooler water.
There's a big difference. Everything just changed, so the hustle is more hard nowadays than before. The reef in our area is very bad. When the fishermen go and set their fish spots, nothing. Climate change destroy our coral reef around here. That's what happening to us here.
Despite the many challenges, some young people are taking up fishing, but they are doing it differently.
I've always loved fishing. My dad has been a fisherman for all his life, basically. I went out with him a few times when I was younger, and I just fell in love with it. When I first went out, I was 12 years old. I fished with my father, and then when I went out 10 years later, they were still doing the same type of fishing. And I figured to myself, there has to be a better way, an easier way, a more efficient way to do the same thing that we're doing. I employed 5 other guys. One of the boats' job was to target snappers. I personally went out to target pelagics and another boat focused more on fish spots.
Out on the wide open sea, the first challenge is to find the fish. Fish aggregating devices, or FADs, anchored in open water have become popular as a way to attract pelagic species to certain areas. FADs are beneficial to fishers because they improve efficiency at sea, but they also serve to reduce pressure on reef fish as more and more fishers concentrate their efforts on fishing out in the deep. Innovations in technology have enabled the creation of FEWA, an app developed specifically for fishers in the Caribbean. FEWA is supported by the Investment Plan for the Caribbean Regional Track of the Pilot Program for Climate Resilience, implemented by the Mona Office for Research and Innovation at the University of the West Indies, with grant funding from the Climate Investment Fund through the Inter-American Development Bank. The app enables fishers to receive real-time information on weather and sea conditions, and to report on local conditions and persons missing at sea. It also tracks moon phases and tides to aid fishers to optimize their catch. As climate change brings stormier weather and more variable seas, FEWA is proving valuable in facilitating safety at sea.
The fishermen here, basically, they're not only fishermen, but they're also businessmen, because you're self-employed, so you work for yourself. We are responsible for selling our fish, finding the market, storage, processing. So we are responsible for that here in Dominica right now.
Recognizing that fisheries in the Caribbean are under serious pressure, it is up to all of us to commit to strategies to address the impacts of climate change on our fisheries so that we can have fish for today and fish for tomorrow.
Decisions. Every minute, every hour, every second across the Caribbean, decisions are made. Some are at the individual level. Where do I build or buy a house? What type of work will I do? How can I protect my health? Other decisions are made at the national or regional level. How does a country prepare for natural disasters? How can the Caribbean protect its fishing industry? How can the region plan for rising sea levels or more intense hurricanes? We all want to make good decisions. Decisions that will have a positive impact on our lives and the lives of others. Information. To make good decisions, we need information. Facts, figures, statistics, and evidence. Information is essential to decision making. One of the most complex types of information is climate information. The changes in climate caused by man make it even more critical that we have climate information. Climate change.
Climate change refers to distinct changes in different measures of the climate, for example, rainfall, temperature, and wind that lasts for a long time. And it's a change that's related to human activity that is of particular concern.
The small island developing states and coastal states of the Caribbean are feeling the impacts of climate change. Greenhouse gas emissions, mainly from larger, more developed countries, have led to higher temperatures, rising sea levels, and longer dry spells. These global changes have meant big changes for us here in the Caribbean.
It's important for us to understand the changes that can be anticipated. What will less rainfall mean for agriculture? What will warmer temperatures and the effects on coral reefs, for example, mean for tourism? What can we anticipate, for example, with respect to our infrastructure?
The health sector suffered a lot from the outbreak of chikungunya. What happened was loss of productivity meant, of course, loss of business. And from the point of view of the government, the pressure on the health sector to handle this major disease. So the economic impact is something that we have to pay particular attention to.
The Caribbean faces big challenges in addressing climate change. Individually, our small island states do not have the technical capacity to generate and organize the country data for models and simulations.
Before this, climate modeling within the region was a shared effort because no one institution or country within the region, within the Caribbean region, had the resources to actually do climate modeling runs. And when we talk about resources, we're talking about human capacity as well as the technical capacity, be that the computing and the storage. It got to a point where, as much as we were filling the gaps that existed based on the IPCC's first and second assessment reports, we're getting to a point of almost missing the reports because the science was advancing and we weren't filling that gap fast enough. Sparks gives us the ability to fill that gap faster.
Enter Sparks. Sparks is a high-performance computer system manufactured by Dell, whose specification was designed right here at UWI-MITS. It is funded by the Inter-American Development Bank under the Investment Plan for the Caribbean Regional Track of the Pilot Program for Climate Resilience, PPCR. Think of Sparks as 34 very high-powered desktop computers connected by an extremely fast network. This system is linked to a very large and very fast set of hard disk drives. Together, these and other components are able to take in, store, and analyze the large body of climate data that exists.
Sparks moves us from the point of view of waiting months for data to giving us a matter of days to actually get that data.
One of the opportunities afforded to us as we engage Sparks is climate modeling at the scale of Caribbean islands. And so we'll be in a position within the Caribbean to generate information for the Caribbean and to have a look at the impacts across a number of sectors.
Having an equipment or tool such as Sparks will help us to model our data down to a closer scale, something that us farmer can relate to. And so I think that will improve the confidence that the farmer and us as other stakeholders would have in the information that we're getting in terms of what is predicted for the future. And so I think that's exciting. I think that's something we'd want to see, and this information will be fantastic for us to use.
The accuracy and precision and the resolution of the work being done is going to be the type that will not just excite us, but really put us in a position for improved planning from our perspective.
Sparks has been developed under the regional track of the PPCR in the Caribbean. With IDB funding and coordination through the Mona Office of Research and Innovation at the UWI, the PPCR is working to improve regional climate data generation, analysis, and dissemination. With the support of implementing partners like the UWI Climate Studies Group, PPCR is helping the Caribbean generate and use climate information for effective decision-making.
Thank you again for joining us today, everyone. We hope to see you again tomorrow. Remember that the links to all the sessions are on your agenda, and they're also in your email. We start promptly at 8:45 a.m. tomorrow, Jamaica time. That's 9:45 a.m. Eastern Caribbean time. And I think that's 7:45 Belize time. Again, do feel free to reach out to pmo.mori@gmail.com if you have any queries, if you have any questions out of the presentations that you didn't get a chance to ask, and we will forward them to the presenters. And I'm going to echo what Princess Sinclair says in the chat. Please keep safe, everyone, as we continue to face uncertain times. Looking forward to seeing you all here again tomorrow. And feel free to invite a friend. We still have capacity. Thank you.